Well, East Coast, West Coast
Let's go,
here.
boxes.
Newark against L.A. Perez against Adams.
Obey my commands at all times. Protect yourself at all times. Touch him up. Good luck.
We got one spot left in the Boxino semis. Vito Gasparian needs an opponent. Perez and Adams to figure that out now.
And guess what? You got to figure out again. Well, you have to deal with again. Inactivity. 9 months since Perez last was in the ring, and off 1 year and 1 month before that. Inactivity, it's up to Adams, I believe, to take advantage of that inactivity, to understand what I'm understanding, and to jump on him early. Not to mention, Adams would want to be close inside with the taller, thinner Perez. Adams definitely the bigger guy. Junior middleweight, entire career, Joe, while Perez only a welterweight for his career.
Yeah, the body type screams it here. When you just glance up for a moment.
Perez has been involved with head clashes, cut by a head clash 4 fights ago. Adams
See how
naturally.
there's going to be a tendency for that to be the case here. He was off balance for a moment.
You can see that in Adams, although orthodox, he's naturally lefty, so if he has to, and he figures he's not going to have to in this fight, but if he has to, he can switch to southpaw. You know, it's funny. Adams naturally lefty. He's an orthodox fighter. Fights out of the righty position. Perez, naturally righty. He's a southpaw.
Right hand from Adams.
And for me, the strategy should be, the obvious is Perez should use a jab more. He's not using it, he's pushing it. And if you push it, you're not keeping the shorter guy outside. You're going to allow him to come in.
Had no cover that time as he came in, and Adams able to get off. Tied up that right hand for a moment, and now Adams getting to work on that belt line of Perez. Off balance through a fat right hand.
Plenty of opportunities for body work for Adams because Perez is tall and skinny. There's a lot of tall, skinny body to crush if you're Adams when you get close. And then once you start crushing that body, I think the fight plan, if I'm in Adams' corner, should be then go to the uppercut. Because then Perez is going to do that. He's going to lean forward. Body work and uppercuts. That's the ticket if I'm in Adams' corner when I get close.
Break clean, break clean, break clean.
Adams looking for right hands every once in a while. I think Perez should be jabbing. He's not. He's probably looking for the right hook because that can be a good weapon for a southpaw against an orthodox fighter. The orthodox fighter doesn't see it coming.
Instead, that orthodox fighter wants plenty of this. Brandon Adams. Right hand in the opening round. Got a fun night here from Mohegan Sun. Quarterfinal opening evening of our Boxino 154-pound tournament. Next week we will be at Turning Stone in Verona, New York to get the heavyweight Boxino tournament underway.
Perez is just off to the wrong start. I mean, he lost the first round, but he's just, the game plan's not what I think it should be. Control the outside, use your jab, control the outside, set up opportunities for that right hook I alluded to in the last round. That could be a really good weapon for a southpaw because the orthodox fighter just not used to seeing a punch come from that angle. But instead, Perez is exactly where he should not be. In on the ropes now and in close, exchanging with a guy who's a middleweight, and Perez has been a welterweight.
Adams taking advantage. Squared up, shoulder to shoulder. Sweeping across with body shots, occasionally mixing it up like that with that left uppercut. And Perez stays right in the pocket and tries to prove himself on the inside. There's that right uppercut from Adams.
I mean, I'm talking about chocolates earlier. I wish, if it's chocolates, I wish there were 2 chocolates. Caramel and coconut. I love them. I love them. I mean, that's all I want to eat if I'm eating chocolate. And if I'm Adams, the only thing that I want to see him throwing when he's on the inside is body punches, coconut, and uppercuts, caramel. That's all I want to see if I'm in the corner of Adams.
What made you assign those two flavors to those punches?
Because
there's no rhyme or reason. Come on now.
They're my favorite. They're my favorite, and they work for me. They work for me. And for me, those punches work for Adams. When you're inside, you got a tall, skinny guy like Perez, you bang the body, and then he leans forward, you bring the uppercut.
Both men opening up that time. Perez came sweeping with that right hand. And now Adams back to business on the inside, backing him right up to the ropes.
The only chance Perez has is the right hook, because he's put himself in that position. That's the only chance he has to land that right hook, I believe. And this is where Adams, again, body and uppercuts, that should be. There's the body and uppercuts. That is what the doctor ordered if you're Adams. Perez, how often do I say during these fights about geography? Perez in the wrong place at the wrong time. Should not be inside with a guy who's as much stronger as Adams is of him.
Coconut and caramel-filled round here for Adams. And Brandon Adams taking on Alex Perez on the inside and getting the best of it so far here in our final quarterfinal matchup of the evening of this Boxino 154-pound tournament. Round number 3. These are scheduled for 6 rounds apiece. Good flow, nice pace to the evening to get through 4 quarterfinal matchups. April 3rd, we will have the 8-round semifinals, all leading up to the May finals here in this Boxino tournament. Bernardo was listening into the happenings in the corner of Alex Perez. What do you got, Bernie?
Jose Rosario was telling Alex Perez, first of all, you got to throw short punches. Second of all, you've got to get out of the way. That infighting is exactly where he wants to have you.
Teddy's been harping on that as well. But here they are, back against the ropes. Right in Adams' position that he likes. Squared up now, Perez tries to gain some traction. Ineffective with that uppercut, and then a chopping left hand that came down from Adams.
Still early, but Adams going to have a chance if Perez continues to be insistent on fighting in the wrong place, which is in close quarters. I think Adams is going to have a chance to stop Perez. Adams too confident right now. Instead of working, he's trying to show some of his machismo. Dropping his hands, taking a few shots. He needs to just keep working on a thin, skinny guy who's given him the opportunity to be in close with him. And again, Adams needs to use that uppercut. See, if I'm in the corner of Adams, I'm looking at left hook up top and then right uppercut. Left hook is to make Perez lean, and the right uppercut is then to catch him leaning.
Keep him on the ropes.
I'd like to see Adams use his legs a little inside. What I mean by that is just step off to either side a little bit, like he's doing right now. Just a little subtle thing. Step off to the side and get another shot from a different angle. Watch the subtle movement of the legs of Adams. You got to really tune into it. Just little movements every once in a while to either side. Nice short punches by Adams. Watch his feet. He'll move a little bit to one side like he did to the left, and then all of a sudden he's got a different angle. Now he moved a little bit to the right where he gets a different angle. That's nice. That's taught. Somebody's teaching him that. Take a look at this little subtle work on the inside with Adams, banging that body. Look, he moves to his left just a little bit, and he avoids the punch. Now he's got a better position for the left hook. because he made that little move with his legs. Now, you hardly notice that. But you know who notices it?
Oh, I know who notices that.
You
I
sure
know who
do,
notices
Joe.
that. Absolutely.
A guy named Perez notices it.
Yeah, and a guy named Theodore Atlas sitting to my right also notices it. Would you look at the amount of Crisco on the face of Perez right now as he comes out for this 4th round? I mean, are they going to bake a bunt cake on that face? What in the world? How do you not, if you're the referee, have them take that down a notch?
Yeah, that is a little bit over the top, as we say sometimes. Wow.
I mean, seriously, Teddy.
I mean,
look at the amount of grease on the side of the face of Alex Perez. I mean, the next punch that Adams lands on his face is going to slide off and be in Providence, Rhode Island.
I mean, I've seen my daughter put a lot of, the night cream on at night sometimes.
Nicole's going to kill you right now.
Well, she is going to kill me.
You are so done right now.
And she's beautiful. And she's even beautiful with
nobody needs to know about the night cream process here.
She's still beautiful.
There's no climbing out of the hole you just put yourself in.
I'm trying. I'm scratching. I'm scratching.
Valentine's Day expense just went up.
It did go up a little bit.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
This would be true. But yeah, Perez, boy, he had a lot of stuff on his face. But what he needs to do is not be laying on the inside and just, right now, I guess he's got no choice. He's buried. He's in the 4th round. And he's buried. He's buried in this kind of...
Oh, yeah. Hello, Adams.
Adams, he just got rid of some of that grease, by the way. It went flying. That's one way to remove it. Adams just removed it a way that Perez didn't really want to remove. But I still see Adams having a chance to stop Perez because Perez uses none of his natural gifts of size and length. Uses none of them. Instead, he allows Adams to use all of his natural gift of strength, power, and size advantage. And Adams doing a good job with it.
Thudding, sweeping lefts and rights from Adams, and now a short right hand as Perez continues to think he can get it accomplished on the inside. A right hand from Adams. He shakes it off. But he's been taking damage against those ropes. Uppercut now from Adams.
That's the punch. Body and uppercut for me for Adams. And maybe Adams goes home a little early.
There's a body punch that tried to get around that left elbow. Left uppercut now from Adams.
Watch the feet again of Adams. Moves a little bit. Again, little slight shift to the left, Joe, when he gets inside, where he positions himself for that left hook a little better. And he gets outside the right hook of Perez. So there's a method to those little moves.
Very strong final minute of this 4th round from Brandon Adams. We're going to stay here and listen into the corners.
Give me some water. Give me some water.
Alex, you all right? Yeah? All right.
Put it here. All right. Put it right in his neck. All right, pa. That jab had to be more.
Well, take a look here on the inside. Nice work by Adams. Good left uppercut and then a right hand on top. That's the way you do it. Take another look at the left uppercut. I've been calling for the uppercut. There it is, Adams. You got a tall guy leaning. What do? You straighten him out a little bit with that uppercut.
Yep. I like what I see. Good. Take a deep. Stop letting him push you to the rope. Push him to the rope. Okay, let's go. No, sir. You're the boss.
There we go. Seconds out. Seconds out.
I talked about the inactivity of Perez. Going to really hurt him as it's hurt other fighters in this tournament tonight. 9 months his last fight, 1 year and 1 month before that. Adams the opposite. He helped himself. He fought a month ago. And he started fast.
Talked about that earlier this year on Friday Night Fights. Coming off of a Friday Night Fight appearance in upstate New York on January 16th. It was a 2nd round TKO against Lecken Byfield. Overpowered him quickly that night. He just kept the engine revving a bit to get ready for this tournament.
I talked about Perez being a smaller guy to that point. being a welterweight his whole career. Tonight he comes in, of course, the junior middleweight tournament. He comes in 152.5, heaviest weight of Perez's career. So a moment ago, Perez fell in there with his head a little bit. That
uppercut could have been there.
Yeah, it could be there, and a cut could be there too if Perez is not careful.
Comes forward, does Adams with that right hand. Tried to split the guard that time. Right back to the inside with Perez. Constantly then back against the ropes, and now he's taking punishment upstairs.
I still think Adams has a chance. Perez very game. But Perez has been knocked out once. I think Adams still has a chance to make that twice. Especially with Perez, again, not controlling the outside. I'm not even going to talk about the jab anymore. I think the fight is too far. I live in a practical world. I think the fight's too far gone now for Perez to start using the jab and turn things around. Now,
so what does turn it around?
Right hook from the southpaw out of nowhere, lightning out of the sky. You know, that's a punch again. The orthodox fighter not used to seeing coming from that angle. Maybe catch Adams coming in with that right hook. Because Perez needs lightning out of the sky.
Southpaw veteran is naturally right-handed, but fights lefty, so we'll see if he can utilize that more dominant hand with the right hook.
Right hand against the southpaw.
We may have a bed check tonight at Mohegan Sun. Sleep well, Mr. Perez.
You're fighting the wrong place all night long. You wind up in the wrong place at the end of the night on the floor.
I mean, that was something from Brandon Adams. He got him to that place where you sensed it was coming, and did he deliver?
One returnee from last year's tournament, Brandon Adams, growing at all times right in front of us, becoming a better fighter, a more confident fighter.
Boxino has served him well. Enjoy these replays.
He moves in. See the little subtle thing? Didn't just throw a right hand. He stepped in. Watch. Steps in and lets that right hand go, knowing that he's going to catch Perez standing straight up in front of him.
Brandon Adams with a spectacular finish.
And
good enough for that to be labeled with a hashtag SC Top 10. Undoubtedly a contender to be a Sports Center Top 10.
And undoubtedly what would be missed is the steps. Nice step and punch. If he would have just punched, would have came short. Little step, everything behind it, snaps that shoulder forward, gets the job done.
And the family.
Let's make it official, and for that, here's Sweet Baby Ray Flores.
Ladies and gentlemen, the end comes at 2 minutes 47 seconds of the 5th round. Referee in charge, Harvey Dock, puts a halt to this contest for your winner by technical knockout and punching his ticket to the semifinals of the Boxino tournament, Brandon "The Cannon" Adams.
11th knockout of his career. 16-1. The veteran who was in Boxino last year made it to the middleweight finals. He's off to the semis here. We'll talk to him when we return. Boxino 2015, we told you easy to follow, win in advance brackets, and it makes average fights and average fighters much, much better. Such the case tonight here at Mohegan Sun, and a fighter like Brandon Adams who impresses again. He's with Bernardo.
Brandon, we saw how you looked at 154. How did you feel at 154?
Good. I felt great, man.
every round that went by, man, I was feeling like it was almost the first, to be honest.
Well, it won't be the first time you and Vito Gasparian get into the ring. You've sparred for many years, but come April 3rd, when the semifinals are on the line, it'll be for real. What'll the difference be?
Well, he got me started when I first turned professional, actually. I was on my way turning pro, and he was one of the veteran professionals who helped me get going, and he taught me a lot, you know, and I appreciate it. So this coming, the next fight, April 3rd, you said? I'm looking forward to fighting him, man, to see how, to show him how much I've advanced and to see how much he advanced as well.
It'll be a short turnaround, but Adams will be back in the ring against Gasparian.
It's going to be good. Brandon Adams off to the semis. So the brackets filled in for the semifinals. Scorer code was impressive, Teddy. He's now undefeated. He'll be taking on John Thompson, who took the fight on short notice, came up with a unanimous decision win over Pinnell. Gasparian advances, also unanimous decision win against Brandon Adams with the knockout victory tonight. That'll be April 3rd. Todd.
Joe, good way to start Boxino 2015 here in the junior middleweight division. We saw 2 knockouts, but don't be surprised if we don't see 4 next week when we turn it over to the big boys. The heavyweight division headed your way live from Verona, New York, Turning Stone Resort and Casino, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. 8 heavyweights looking to make a name in the division. Catch it on ESPN2. There is Stanislav Skurokode. Brandon Adams also victorious tonight. It's going to be a good one for Joe Tessitore, Teddy Atlas, and Bernardo Osuna. I'm Todd Grisham. Thanks for watching Friday Night Fights.